What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Zero Access Footy. I'm joined, of course, with regular co-host Behm Gaddie, and I'm joined with special co-host for today. We've got the young King Cookson ready to chat footy.
What have I come into?
Ready to chat everything footy with us here today, and it's going to be a fun one. We're going to also be making another separate type of video as well. We're going to be interviewing the man, talking a bit more about his YouTube journey regarding everything from his content to the Div 12 Resi. So if you're interested in hearing a little bit about that, feel free to tune in to that one that comes out very soon after. So with that being said, let's have a look at round 17 for the AFL season. Our first 9-game weekend in a good while. In a very, very good while.
Look at this.
Starts ourselves off with a tough one. To be fair, not that tough. I don't know, because I've got someone to kind of vent about this one now. You can take a quick breather to start if you'd like, because we can have a little bit of a sook about this. How did you feel about this one?
I was pretty happy with the effort.
I was too.
Dogs are a proper outfit, so I just hate that we can roll over and end up losing by 49 points.
100%.
Like, that needs to stop. We've had many games where we've been in for 3 quarters and we still lose by 10 goals. It's like, that needs to stop.
There's genuine games where we don't play 4-quarter efforts, and like that's kind of normal for a lot of teams, unless you're like in the top echelon. But it feels like our bad quarter is so bad. Yeah,
it's horror, bro. I mean, you expect that for a team that's been so bad for so long and so young. But the rollover, like, it's just time after time, man. Like, I just want to see him fight it out. I mean, going into this season, we did want wins, and you wanted that tangible success. And shit. But like, if you're gonna lose, like, don't. It just like the neutral fan would just look at that and go, "Oh, Dogs pumped them." It's like, no, you watched that game. We were in it. We were really giving it to them.
Absolutely.
49 points.
I know. I had said 50 was acceptable, so 49, which is a bad thing to say, but like. Whereas we're sitting here saying that was a decent performance. That was a decent outing. I just mentioned here that it was impressive to keep up with that much talent when we're that deep into reserves. Like Cooper Harvey playing, he hasn't played much. I think, Will Dawson was out there?
Yeah, he's impressed me.
Yeah, there's like a lot of players who I didn't think would be able to stand some of the star power. Like, I think the most disappointing part was how well Norton was able to get into the game, because we did well on Darcy in the first half. Yeah. And then Norton just ate up on that.
Yeah, Pinky got fed by Norton. Was it the third or the It was like the second half of the second quarter and the first half of the third. Like that middle patch of the game, he really ripped it. Yep. Poor old Pinky after having a couple of good weeks. Back to reality, brother.
That's all right. Look, he scalped Charlie Kerner, so I'm happy with that.
He did.
For the Dogs, it's a bit concerning, that first half. You'd hope that they were able to put the ruse out early, but it's just good to see Norton playing such great football. As of recent, you've had your criticism. A lot of people have had their criticisms of Norton, but I think I've always been on the idea that when he's not the main option, when he's lucky enough to be not the main option, because if he was playing for North, he would be the main option, or at least he'd be very close to Larky. He would be struggling.
He impresses a lot more as the second option when he doesn't need to be the sole. Like, it's not on the sole defender, so when he's crash and bash, because that's his play style, it's not as exposed when you've got other defenders being able to fly in. Whereas if there's Darcy, the best defender, the tallest defender, he's able to go on Darcy, and he gets the second defender. It's just a lot better for him.
Tell you who I would have loved? Chom.
Yeah, Chom. The injury list is not pretty at the moment.
And it's happened within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that time of the year. George Wardlaw is going to retire young. Jeez, he's like, bros, between his hammies and his head, and I love that man.
He is such a shin boner. It's insane. But
the one man you have a photo with.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, after the 2023 AFLW Grand Final, that was an iconic photo.
I love him. With Norton, I was staunch on, like, obviously I don't know what the Jamara situation is, but like, in an ideal world, you have Darcy and Jamara, who's, that's irrelevant now. And Norton, I always wanted him to go back to centre-half back like he played in under-18s.
Yeah.
Great pair of hands, can't kick. Why wouldn't you give it a go? Like,
the problem is, they just never have been in the opportunity or in the moment to be able to experiment with that.
Yeah.
Maybe when Bont has a go in his forward rotation, because they have the luxury of having a mid-forward, such a powerful mid-forward in Bont, that maybe they could swing Norton around, but the problem is it'd be so short-lived. It would barely be enough time. It would barely be a decent enough period to really get a look at how he plays.
Oh, yeah, without Jamara in the mix,
yeah,
it's sort of not realistic,
when you've got all three and then you want to play Bont forward, it just messes up the mix completely.
Yep.
Like, you can't have Darcy, Ugelhagen, and then also Norton. That three doesn't work themselves alone.
Yep.
And then you bring in Bonnet as well. If you want to isolate him down, what are you going to do with Norton and Ugelhagen if Darcy's back up ruck? It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Is Ugelhagen going to play for the Dogs this year? Like,
I don't think he'll play for the Dogs this year.
No.
And then he's not going to be at the Dogs next year, is he?
More than likely not.
Yeah,
There's been
unless something
Swans?
really changes.
Yeah.
Swans?
There's been a lot of rumours.
That was
with
the rumour, yeah.
They're looking at two left-footed key forwards at the moment in Macca and Ugelhagen. So they've got a tie.
Gangers, I'd take a gamble on it.
Oh, would we? I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Fucking oath.
Yeah, we could use him, to be fair. We could use him.
You got Finbar. He's better.
Finbar's just a great mark. I'd love to keep talking about North Dogs, but we'll try and move on to what was kind of expected to be a big one.
Yeah.
Carlton Collingwood. Obviously, the rivalry itself is fantastic in terms of previous years, but this time around, we weren't treated to that as much. A 56-point loss to the Pies for the Blues. What hasn't been said negatively about the Blues is really how I feel about this one. They almost felt reserved to a loss, like they knew it was going to happen. There was some efforts and outputs that were really poor from the Blues.
As soon as you saw Collingwood go on a run, you were just like, yeah, Carlton aren't coming back. There's no chance. And I thought a couple of their experienced players stood up pretty well. Like Zach Williams, he was really good on the weekend.
Yep.
At the same time, you're relying on a 31-year-old Zach Williams who's had consistent injury problems all year and all throughout his career.
And he looked hurt for a second as well in that game too.
Yeah.
Completely just incidental. But yeah, I think what's good is that there's more and more of a feeling amongst the footy world that Voss isn't to blame, but that doesn't really help him. I still feel I'm still leaning towards him losing his job by the end of the year, purely just because that's what Carlton does.
Too far gone now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, even I'm with you. It's like, it's not Voss's fault that he has a list of professional footballers that can't hit a target.
Yeah.
Like, but it is too far gone. Like, it's too far gone. You got to cut it off. Like,
it's the AFL landscape. I think someone had mentioned, I can't remember who exactly, but someone had said that as a coach, you've got 3 years to really make your mark. And Voss did so, making it to that prelim. In his second year.
Momentum merchant, though.
But then 2 to 3 years after that, here we are going, is he really the man for the job? You have to keep up sustained success. And then the minute that you stop getting that success, you have to jump back on the horse soon. You have to give them reasons to feel like you're the right person to keep going.
And I'm sure if he does stay, there's going to be a heap of change. Like we saw with the Bulldogs a couple of years ago where everything changed around Beveridge because they believed he was the man. Whether he is or isn't for the future isn't the problem. You've got to do some change and still back your man. You've believed in him. He is a good coach. Like a lot of the statistics behind how they're playing at the moment is positive, except they're a bad kicking team and they're a dumb football team. And so I was watching the game, the amount of times that McGovern would just leave his man when playing down back and it'd be 15 metres of space and Elliott would just take an open mark. That's not coaching. That's players who aren't smart enough.
My thing with Vossi, and like, I think something glaring that shows that maybe he isn't AFL head coach level is like his inability to change gears and change style. Like,
that's what I was thinking that was my whole thinking towards their round 1 loss, right? They had put Paddy Cripps in the ruck. I'm like, what changes this?
Yeah, what's going
Why
on?
would you do that? And I'm like, I don't want to ever see that again. That was a really, really dumb change. You're hoping that you can, because obviously they were missing Pitnet at the time, I believe was the case. He was injured. So they needed to really delve deep into it. I would have been happy if they put Silvani in there, because Silvani's done it in the past.
And who cares if Silvani gets injured?
He's
actually been playing well.
He's been really good.
I know.
We hate
I'm the
Silvani.
same. Do you remember? You definitely remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. As soon as I was
I don't
40
need to
points up
say
against
it.
the Blues, I posted that shit on my Instagram. I had to get to 40 points before I did it. Bro.
Yes. Yeah.
But like Carlton love contested ball. Like it's been their thing. It worked for them for a bit. Contested ball territory. Like sweet. Can't kick. That's good way to go. Up at half time. Then the team goes, like, whoever they're playing, it happened the first six rounds of the season. It's like, you guys can win it in tight because you were going to kick it straight to us and we're going to fucking back half score. So we're just going to kill you. Like, And Vossi, keep going, try harder. More Vossi, we're dominating.
Work harder.
More contestable. It's like, I don't know. Like, I know it's a stiff comparison, but you look at Chris Scott.
It's the idea of...
He has fucking plan ABC.
It's the idea of playing your game, but playing your game isn't just... If it's not working, do it harder.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think like you look what sorry to go off topic, but as
right.
far as like being stubborn about your game style, which I think Vossi sort of is to maybe I don't know, just doesn't know where to go with it. Matty Nix has been stubborn with how he wants the Crows to play, and it's like looking pretty good this year. Like as far as just cutting up the ground, they rely on that kicking. And it just, even if it's ugly, like I think it was it against the Hawks a couple of weeks ago, where the Hawthorn was setting up really well across the ground defensively.
Yes, I
was
believe
it in Tassie?
It was in Tassie, yeah.
One of the ugliest games I've ever seen because Hawthorn were like really playing good defensively.
Yeah.
And Matty Nix is like, no, we're going to keep trying to chop them up. It's not working, Matty. It was just a gross game of football. But like,
to be fair, I think the thing is, it's working, so that's why he feels justified in doing so. And when it doesn't work, he doesn't know how to adjust from there. Even against Melbourne,
I don't even know if it is that he doesn't know how to adjust. I think he's like so stubborn on it.
He just he feels like his way is going to work so well. But even when it's not working, it's just going to take a bit of time.
Yeah, I feel like he doesn't even want to entertain. Whereas Vossi can't. I feel like Matty Nix doesn't want to.
There's also the element of the players they've recruited not being able to play like Geelong. Blitzers can play 5 positions. Like
it's fucking unfair, isn't it?
You can chuck every player in Geelong anywhere on the field and they'll succeed.
Yep.
Carlton don't have that type of list.
Nope.
At all. So there's that element that they also need to fix. I thought it was really interesting as well that we had a Friday night doubleheader with GWS West Coast. And interesting.
We'll go to West Coast GWS because I don't know how much there is to talk about it. No. I feel like
that's a good segue, bro.
GWS.
Sorry.
I do well, I reckon.
I like that. I had to point it out.
See, he gives me a lot of hype. Why don't you?
Like I didn't set you up for that segue at all.
Shut your mouth.
Sorry, I ruined how good the segue was by bringing it up, but
That's
I
all
just
right.
couldn't help myself.
No, I
appreciate
appreciate pointing it out because I don't get that very often.
No, you shouldn't.
Trouble in paradise, fellas. Jeez.
We've got West Coast GWS, however. I don't know how much there is to mention about it in the sense that I thought this was going to be a little bit of a pick-off. I thought West Coast had a chance to, but the GWS consistency train, just you don't know what type of GWS you're going to get. Yeah. We got the finals version of them. When they very easily could have given us the bottom 4 version of them where they lose to Richmond, or very nearly. But main point here for West Coast is I think Job Shanahan looks really, really nice as a future prospect. Couple of games and he's already put himself pretty far in
the guy he went behind the footy and took a couple of grabs?
Yeah, he's a swing, so he can play forward or back. So looks like a potential Oscar Allen replacement, which for them is really important.
Yeah,
if he does leave.
But I just don't know whether West Coast has another one in them for the rest of the season. I don't know.
Oh, they do play a couple teams down.
They've got a Richmond game, don't they?
They do.
Yeah,
they do. I don't know if it's at home or not, but I think there's a couple games there.
That's the one that they'll need because one win.
It's at Optus as well.
Has anyone done one win in a while?
Probably.
I think North have done a few twos.
I reckon St Kilda have had a couple winless seasons as well, down like in the VFL before.
Yeah, but we're not talking. We're not. I'm
how many games have
recently.
Richmond won this year?
Richmond have won 3.
They're
Crazy.
impressive.
Yeah, they're a gritty team.
Not for the rest of the season though. they're screwed with injuries at the moment.
Yeah, and suspensions, but we'll
And
get into
Noah
that
Balta.
later. And Noah Balta.
Finney Callahan went nuclear,
he was
boys.
best game on returns easily.
Unreal. 12 score involvements, 37 posse.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
And, it's just a shame he's not in Saints colours.
Well, hey,
had 1.7 million.
That's low, bro.
Yeah.
Had 1.7 million.
It's just the way
he wants to stick
He's
in
a
Sydney.
stand-up
That's his
guy.
fault.
I'm sure his partner's father is very impressed. He's a loyal man. That's that shit.
Sticking to GWS is a big thing. I'll tell you what.
I love the Giants. They're like
They are.
as close
They're
as
there.
I could love a team other than North. Like,
Yeah.
that's the strongest second team. So
Yeah,
fucking love
it's the way with expansion teams. I feel.
Yeah, I like Gold Coast.
Expansion in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Right. I think if you were around for the Freo expansion and stuff like that, you would have been like,
I don't even
Freo
really
are pretty
recall,
fun.
you
Not that old, mate.
Yeah.
Not that old.
I probably am. I'm just
Yeah, you're making them feel bad, Ben. Well done, mate.
Toby Greene's like my favourite player in the comp. Sorry, I had to get that.
I
out
hate
there.
him. I hate him.
A lot of people do. I think maybe that's...
We're going to talk about him later.
I love...
He's going to come up. He's
Love
gonna
him.
come up.
I love him. Love him.
We'll go Essendon Gold Coast now. This one was looking a bit scary.
Mm-hmm.
Essendon with an amazing fight for 3 quarters, and a lot of young blokes in that squad now that I feel in 3 to 5 times will be part of their hopefully finals winning squad. And then Gold Coast, they still really worry me. I really think they should have put this to bed within the first half. I think Essendon are so distraught with injuries. I mean, them putting Zach Merritt back into the midfield definitely helped them out.
Yeah.
I think him playing it at half back for a while was a really, really strange choice. I had mentioned that I liked the idea of him playing back, but that was more when the game was in a really close situation and they needed someone safe back there. Playing him there from the get-go, I just felt like you've now got no way of getting yourself in front.
They're a shambles. I don't know how Brad Scott escaped so much criticism.
Oh, yeah, I'm the same.
Sorry, I said his name. I said I was never going to say his name.
Dude,
Chris's brother.
Yeah, people still look at me like, why do you hate Brad Scott so much?
I saw the clip. What was that on? I
Fancast.
commented on it. I was
did it
like,
on Fancast.
bro, someone was getting into it. I'm like, no, that shit.
I
felt that.
I get, like, there's a part of me that understands what they're saying.
Oh, he set our club backwards 10 years.
People
Essendon fans, your club's going to go backwards.
Yeah, people forget the fact that he basically sacked off all of our best
club
players.
legends. And what's his first thing he does at Essendon? Club legend Dyson Heppel.
Why did he take?
And then bring a North club legend in Todd Goldstein.
Yeah, why did he take Todd?
To be fair, they do need him this year. They do need him.
Yeah.
Bring him up.
Essendon are lucky that they've got their pick and Melbourne's pick, and they're very lucky Melbourne have been really bad this year. Well, not really bad, but still down on the
bad
bottom.
Enough to be in those good pick range, yeah.
The thing is, because they don't have the Doro now, hopefully they don't screw up 2 picks in a row like they did in 2020.
Well, they probably
really
will.
hopefully.
All right, Geelong, Richmond. Few things.
Jezza kicked us.
Did you guys watch this game?
Nope.
I did.
I watched the whole game.
I did. I was like, give me 100. I want to see 100 points.
Jeremy Cameron was playing like my player. He should have had 12 goals. And he, I don't like. You watch that game.
Well, his 700th goal was just Brad Close finding him in the most weird opportunity. Like, he's in the pocket going away from the football. He's like, oh, Jezza! It just hands it off to him, turns around onto his left and snaps it from 30, 35 out. It's like, it's a very strange Jeremy Cameron goal, but of course he can do it, so that's a beautiful way to get up 700.
So good. We rarely get a locked-in Jezza, though. He's a piss taker.
Yeah, 100%.
He's so fucking
Well, he
good.
was in this game. He was a piss taker in this game.
That's what I'm saying. I was talking to one of my mates, and it's like, if you showed his highlights for this game and, like, as he was kicking the ball, you cut it off, you'd think, oh, that bloke kicked 15 goals. Like, you wouldn't go, he kicked 4 goals? What?
Exactly.
He missed one from in front. He's passing them off.
Yeah, I was going to say, he marked one and gave it to Ollie Henry. To be fair, that was a smarter one because he was on his right. You could snap it around. But on the Richmond side of things, I don't think it's as bad as it looked. I think, obviously, a lot of people expected this to get to 100 points, myself included. Ryan Mansell kicked the first 3 goals of the game, which took to the third quarter to do, but nonetheless, 3 goals is impressive.
Newly dating Mon Conti as well.
And,
so.
Yeah, nice.
Right, man.
Good on
kicking
him.
goals on and off the field.
Well done, young man. And Maurice Rioli. Fantastic effort from Go to Woke. He was such. If you watched the whole game, you would have seen how good he was with those extra efforts. Probably the only Richmond player that really looked like it, especially comparing to Noah Balta. There's so many things we could say about Noah Balta, but this game he looked lost.
We talked a fair bit about it.
He's got a bit on his mind, the guy.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I'm surprised he was actually at the game. I thought he wasn't going to play.
He had a bit of deja vu, to be fair, like on that touch tour, but which we'll get to. He had a fair bit of deja vu.
I think in regards to like Richmond, I think it's probably going into the season, losses like this, we expect them to happen way more frequently.
Yeah.
Going down to like Geelong, when was the last time Richmond played there? I don't recall them ever playing.
Yeah, I thought the circumstances were so bad it
Young
had to be
team
100.
traveling against a professional outfit like Geelong, like it looked like it was going to get to 100. I think it probably was one of the first times this year, which is like it's kind of a backhanded compliment that they didn't look ready for the game. Like they've bought intensity from the first quarter most weeks. Like and just sometimes they get outplayed. They're young.
Yeah.
Geelong sort of looked like a bit of a training drill early.
Yeah.
But I think, also looking at this being one of the times it's like they didn't come up to play is like a compliment on their season as a whole.
No,
like,
I get what you're saying.
Despite this game being probably their worst performance of the year.
I just think maybe the Lawler loss early kind of hit them a bit harder than we thought.
It's going to be tough for him. 3 hammy injuries in your first 12 months.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
It's very tough.
Yeah, it sucks.
We'll go to Brisbane versus Port Adelaide on that.
Sorry, before you
on that
skip
glowing
on,
end. What?
Tom Atkins had 13 first half tackles.
Yes, I remember
There were
that.
so many
That was
plays with heaps of
incredible.
tackles this round.
I couldn't believe that.
Libba had 9.
I'm going to see 26 tackles in a game by one man. I can't wait for this.
Raul had 11 in the first half. Jack
them on the
Steele.
umpire as well. Sorry, Dimmer. I'm joking, Dimmer.
I love that. That's so good.
We'll get sued by Dimmer at this stage.
Dimmer.
And then Jack Steele had 15 for the game as well. So many plays had heaps of tackles.
It's just an angry round, it
Love
seems
a
like.
tackle.
Yeah.
Love a tackle.
Brisbane, Port Adelaide. it feels like the small forwards for Brisbane have now overtaken the tall forwards.
Yeah, Zach Bailey.
Zach Bailey with 5 is insane. Charlie Cameron, I think, had 3
Ridiculous.
as well. And then, you look at their talls. I think Hipwood had 1 or 2, and Logan Morris had 1.
Didn't watch
I know
this
that
game.
because he ruined my multi. But
Some player, Logan Morris.
yeah, he is. He's a fantastic player.
So
despite him costing me money. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, you're not worried about that at all.
Yeah, no. Look, great player, and I think they do have a very well-balanced forward line. It's really good when you can have a forward line that has different aspects to kicking goals, and that's what Brisbane have at the moment. You'd love to have a full game, but obviously you've got to share it around sometimes. Not everyone can have 5 goals a game.
They are so potent when they're on.
Yeah.
Like, I think they had like a 10-minute period.
In the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, and then just went berserk.
50 points I think they had within the first quarter.
I was looking at the stats because at the Saints game, so I wasn't watching. I was looking at the stats. I'm like, 21 inside 50s to 14 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
But Brisbane are up by 5 goals.
Yeah.
And apparently it was like 3 to 20 at one stage as well.
Yeah.
Ridiculous stuff
Yeah.
to close that first.
Yeah.
Lukosius looked good though in his return game. Definitely because of the trade they had with Gold Coast. We were very worried about that trade because Lukosius going out so early.
Yeah.
And Gold Coast having that pick. Gold Coast looks so set for the future. It's insane.
Yeah,
But
scary.
good to see that it looks like there's still some good value in him. I think he's going to be very impactful for them in the future.
It's tough that they also now lost Pal Pepper in front of the ball, Vizentini in the middle, and Radicale behind the ball.
He was having a good game, Pal Pepper, as well.
Yeah,
I know, he was 2
looked
goals,
on.
16 posies. Is like, he could spice this one up, and that was such
Poor
a
bastard.
bad time to go down.
But
Just end of season. He's going to be out for a fair bit of the next season, it sounds like. So,
Damn.
best of luck to him in his recovery. We'll move on though to.
Oh, I fucking concur. Yeah.
Did I not sound too sad enough?
No, he cost you money as well.
No, I maybe it's my fault because I actually stiffed him from my multi. Sorry, mate. I
Oh, you
apologise.
put a moz on him.
No, yeah, I did, didn't I?
Just cursed him.
Yeah, I've ruined him. Hawthorn and St Kilda. This one, you've got a lot of opinions on this one, I'd imagine, both on the field and off the field.
Yeah. Max Hall is the greatest player I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it's a
He's
stretch.
so
He played fucking.
You
He
literally have
is-
Naz.
Yeah, he had a better game than Naz, I can tell you right now.
He had 43. You think he played better than him?
So, yes, because Naz actually turned the ball over a lot more than what you think. His ball use can be great, but he also dribbles the ball a fair bit more than you'd like for a
Bit
superstar.
cheeky, Naz. Bit cheeky.
But
so
I,
cheeky.
I sit with my family and we sit middle wing level 1. And every time we'd go forward, we'd turn the ball over, except for when it got in Max Hall's hands. And we'd be like, it's Max Hall again. Oh, it's Max Hall again. We're fine. We'll kick a ball to a teammate this time. He is ridiculously clean. He's ridiculously silky. He is such a good player. And we got him in the mid-season draft last year.
He's just progressed. Did he play any games last year?
No,
Back in last year?
his first game was Adelaide, kicked 2 goals and had like 15 touches in his first game.
Yeah, he's
Like,
just strength to strength.
Yeah.
Respect. Yeah.
He's continuously improved throughout the year.
Would you say that's like one of the brighter spots for the Saints of the year?
Easily. Like,
Yeah.
he could very well be a best 23 player in our flag tilt over the next few years.
Yeah. How old is he?
He's 23, I believe.
23,
So he's
right.
not going to be rising star contention.
What is his like position? Like
He's a half forward midfielder. So like
So, like-
he'll be a half forward and then at the stoppage he'll push up.
But do you think, like, say, he keeps progressing when he's like 25? Will
Yeah.
he be a starting midfielder? Like, will he be having centre bounce attendances?
Probably not. I don't
Okay.
think he's got the body for it, but like he's like a Brian Myers to where he's really
Brian.
involved going forward as
Yep.
well.
How was the Josh Battle hate watch?
He took like 15 kickouts, so the 22 touches were very inflated.
Actually 15? Or did you put a little bit on
I think
that?
we kicked 10 goals, 14 off the top of my head
Why was he taking kickouts?
because
Carl Amon just...
Because they wanted to make
He-
his
they
stats
want-
look better. Like
yeah,
he dominated.
yeah.
They wanted to see
Yeah.
Josh Battle with 40
That's
possessions
very-
against St Kilda.
seems like
That
a
would be such a
very-
Sam Mitchell thing to do, though.
Yeah.
yeah, Lloyd Meek was their best player though. He dominated Ron Marshall and Muck. I think he had 58 hitouts or something ridiculous.
I feel like... sorry.
You know, you go and I was
just going to say, I feel like Rowan Marshall is like, in a weird way, he sort of resembles the Saints as a club. He's best footy, really good.
Yeah.
He's worst footy, not
Shocking.
great.
Shocking.
Saints,
He-
best
Worse than West
footy.
Coast.
I've done so much research into him last night that it's going to be a whole topic on my podcast that I'm
Yeah.
filming next.
Don't
The amount of
plug your other
times-
podcast on this podcast.
I should be plugging this podcast on that podcast.
Yeah, you sure should.
Yeah, they've got a better
Absolutely.
audience.
And what about the podcast we're going to make from the podcast on the podcast?
Yeah, exactly. We're going to be making all these podcasts, and you're mentioning that podcast. Shameful.
Sorry.
Podcastception. But no, Roll Marshall, he looks so good when he's playing well, and he looks so bad.
He allows the opposition ruck to be able to play their best football every week, and it's just not good to watch. Like Darcy Cameron 2 weeks ago, he had like 5 shots on goal.
What's the situation going to be next year when TDK comes into town?
Simple.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow.
Get a good pick.
He is very confident that he's going to have both.
You're not a Rowan lover. You don't find a spot for him. Wow. Okay. Wow.
He's heartless, this man.
I feel like some Saints fans are really on Row. Some are not.
If you watch football, you are off Rowan
Marshall.
Wow. And you are off Jack Steele.
He just said, if you have ball knowledge. This man is questioning ball knowledge.
If you have ball knowledge, you are off Rowan Marshall and Jack Steele.
Matter of fact about it. A bit of arrogance. I don't mind it. Well done. Stand on business, sir. I like it.
You got to be confident sometimes. Sydney versus Freo.
Great game.
The only
game of the round
upset per se.
Yeah,
I don't think it was much of an upset considering that they have all their players back now. But
it was the top 9 versus the bottom 9. This was the only game that the upset happened, but it's like 9th versus 10th. So upset all you like.
But really. They do have a somewhat fun road ahead. I don't know.
The next 2 weeks, they've got St Kilda and North. Win both of those, and you're about a game behind Fremantle in 9th. And
Freo will fuck it up for themselves as well.
Oh, Freo will, but it's with another team because Freo were 9th, so Sydney have got to go over 2 teams. I think they could, but Tom Papley's out now as well. Hurts them a lot.
How long?
Really?
It's a somewhat minor hamstring injury, but it's the same hamstring that he did before. So
just what they needed.
Yeah, not great.
They still have Golden at least.
Yeah,
he's been phenomenal.
He can kick the football pretty well, that bloke.
Yeah, I'd say
pretty good kick of the football, that guy.
He earns himself a pretty decent paycheck, I reckon.
It's great to be able to kick the ball as well as he does, but to be able to find the targets is another thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous how well he scans field. And someone who's been great is Brodie Grundy. Had him in my Supercoach team the last 6 weeks. He's at like 150 every single day.
He is very good at the moment.
He's
despite the points, he's been very, very good.
Ridiculous form. But for Fremantle, like, if Grundy's doing that and you still got Jackson and Darcy, they're continuing to persist with Jackson in the midfield when you got Darcy in the ruck. You know how much I've been on this. I don't understand how you can have them both in the team. I'm a huge proponent of Jackson is the number 1 ruck by far, and Darcy should not even be in the team.
What's Darcy's trade value?
That's the thing. I mocked him up to go to Richmond at the end of the year for a Tom Lynch trade. Like, realistically, he doesn't have as much value as you would hope for a player who's as young on a huge contract, but he's so injury prone as well.
Yeah.
So, like, there's good and there's bad with him, but there's a lot of bad.
Is Jackson staying at Freo? Isn't he going back to Melbourne?
Yeah, he's staying. Yeah.
I think there was a rumour. It was a pretty big rumour too that he was coming back to Melbourne.
I've heard a couple things where he's sort of like fallen out with his mates in WA, and so that's sort of where that was coming from. But I think he's pretty comfortable.
Yeah, which source is this one from, mate?
This is not from Catch Up, surprisingly.
Shut up.
Got a lot of hate comments saying both sources were tomatoes, ketchup, and aioli sauce. So it's now an inside joke.
Sauce. Condiments, yes.
That one hit home. We've got
like aioli, yes. I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, we'll go for a feed after this. How's that sound?
HSPs? No, sorry.
Oh, there's no HSP place around the corner.
We'll find one.
Yeah, we'll find
JYG. That's a good hangout.
I'm out.
Not a GYG man?
No.
All right, fair enough.
I love
disappointed me. I was really starting to like you.
Sorry.
Nah, just joking. Each their own.
He's tough to like. It's all right. Adelaide versus Melbourne.
Hey.
And moving on.
Adelaide versus Melbourne. Final game of the round. Melbourne, very, very good fight. You had written here that inaccuracy still haunts them, but kind of. Right? They started 1-6.
Stretches.
And then had, in their next 9 scoring shots, 8 goals won. So they were accurate at times, inaccurate at others.
They had, almost a 30-point lead at one stage?
Yeah.
If they'd kicked accurately in the first quarter, it could have been a 50-point lead and game's done. So
I sort of respect Melbourne. They started the year so poorly. It looked an absolute shambles. Yeah, like 0-5, but it's not even like just the losses, the way they were losing. Like, I think they got north. So I was like,
they got north, bro.
Like,
they got north.
Melbourne were in the bin. Like, they were gone. Everything was... The way they've turned it around, like, it's not clicking by any stretch. It's not like pretty footy. It's not 2021 footy, track and Clayton. It's like they're just fucking actually having a real crack, and I respect that a lot. Just had to throw that out there because like it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Yeah,
But
no,
they're
no.
really fucking trying.
When
The
we're
fact that
speaking-
Jake Melksham is becoming their main key forward,
Yep.
and his
I tell you what,
goal
he does.
kicking,
He really fucking tries.
yeah, I was gonna say his goal kicking is pretty much exactly the way you could describe their entire their entire season. There's been like really, really good moments, but just dabbled in with a lot of inaccuracy. Like the 5 goals, 6 last week was insane.
It's a grind for him.
Yeah,
I think he was
if-
4 goals, 1 this week. So that's all right.
I'm not sure what it was, but if we're talking about Carlton's off-season talk, Melbourne are going to have just as many questions.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're in a weird spot.
No first-round pick this year. Got a lot of players that might want to be on the outer that have been in rumours before. So
Harvey Langford, massive positive for them though.
yeah,
Yep.
Langford,
Seemingly some
they've still
sort of
got a
player.
really good core. But
Bowie's had a great season.
I just think they need to pass the guard now. I
Yeah,
think
100%.
Do you think?
yeah,
Well, it's hard to say. I think Oliver. I'm very worried for Oliver. I think Oliver's very much on the outs, right? I think Cossie's taking his position more and more. Clayton Oliver's become a tagger, and I just can't believe that's the case.
I think they're just trying to engage him.
It was
in
working
what
for a
way
little
they
bit, to be
can.
fair.
Yeah.
It was working for a little bit, but not as much now. Especially in Adelaide, because he was tagging Jordan Dawson, and Jordan Dawson had a fantastic game.
Oh, Clary.
Yeah, the poor bugger.
Get into
think-
Geelong, you'll win a Brownlow. Bro.
I was going to say, give him a bit of farmland, have a bit of a run in there, and
Cotton on
he'll
a
be.
few unders.
Yeah, exactly. He'll have it absolutely. He'll revive his career in no time. But
Why wouldn't you want to play it?
I think there's.
They're a career saver.
You know what I
honestly,
think?
that
Why wouldn't you
club.
want to play at North? Just chuck it.
a lot of
Think of a few.
reasons. A lot of reasons.
I hate to hate on the club, but yeah, I got a few.
And there's one reason why you would want to play at St Kilda, and that's money.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of money if you go to the
the
Saints,
war
to be correct.
chest.
Yeah, exactly.
literally.
But that is the round 17 review. That was.
You can race through this greatest segment of all time.
Yes, this is Macca's man.
Beep it,
of-
beep it.
This is Macca's man of the week. Do you like the animations we put?
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Very good. It's
fantastic.
very Terrence and Phillip from South Park. No? Any?
Haven't watched
That
South
is such an
Park, unfortunately.
insanely niche reference.
Did you watch South Park?
I watched a little bit.
You don't know Terrence Phillip, the Canadian? It's like
No,
they
I do.
The,
No, I do know that. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
Just the popping.
Yeah, it's the Canadian. Yeah, no.
I love South Park. Yeah,
Big
sorry.
South Park man.
massive South Park fan.
Good
Yeah.
on you. I don't know. I think I was more Family Guy. but-
Derailing the flow of the episode. My bad, guys. Carry on.
No, I want to talk about.
You
I
humoured
gotta
me,
move
and
on.
I appreciate
I
that.
got to move on. I got to move on because otherwise we'll talk forever about
Mm-hmm.
South Park and Family Guy. But Macca's man of the week. It's a very, very tough week to have it. I actually don't even have it prepared.
Oh, go on.
That's fantastic.
Go
But,
on.
I'm going to give my 3 votes. I'll start with the most votes.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to Zach Bailey.
Yeah. Talk
5
about him a fair
goals.
bit.
Yeah, 5 goals. Fantastic game from him
Mm-hmm.
in a match that actually ended up being a lot more, I guess, competitive than we could have expected, considering Port. Look, they're
Mm-hmm.
getting better, but we just thought, considering how far they were on the ladder, it would be a bit tougher. They really put up a fight, and Zach Bailey really pushed them over the top. We move to 2 votes. I'm going to give it to Aaron Norton. You okay with that?
He did grab that game.
I'm
by the
waiting
scruff
for
on there, didn't he?
I'm waiting for a name.
I'm really, really worried. Do
Matt
you want me to say Naz?
No, I think it starts with the M and ends in an axhole. Is
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah.
And Macca's donkey of the week is.
Whack.
Where's the 1 vote, mate? I'm still waiting for
All
the 1
right,
vote.
I'll give 1 vote to Max Hall. How does that make
boy.
you? How does that make you feel?
Can I give
There you go.
a token vote to Libba?
Yeah.
Man,
I love
What a
Libba.
fucking player.
Yeah,
he is.
Jesus Christ.
I'd give Libba the votes over Norton.
Yeah, right.
Two goals.
I'm happy with that.
Pull you into that one.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
He's proper footballer.
Yeah.
Goes
yeah,
there the right way.
he's just like his dad, honestly.
Does what you need.
He's
I'll
so-
kick a couple goals if I have to.
Yeah, you've watched his dad play football, haven't you?
I did. I watched the old North Melbourne tapes. I have a bunch of old Western Bulldogs tapes too, 'cause that's what the other half of my family supports. So it's
Yeah,
just, you know,
watching on tape, not DVD.
yeah, well, when I was younger, yeah, I watched on tape. What's the problem?
Yeah, I've watched the 1996 grand final about 100 times.
Yeah, I watched the 99.
Videotape,
I've
genuine.
watched the 99 about 100 times on videotape
Yeah.
too. You want to just swap them for a bit?
Yeah, we'll
watch
trade.
something there.
Trade week, bud.
A little bit of a trade going.
Feel a bit left out here.
Yeah, Macca's Donkey of the Week is Behm Gaddie for.
You take that draw. We can that draw.
Oh,
There's a draw.
I am going to
I
make
swear
you.
he's had a draw.
No, I am going to make you Macca's Man of the Week. Macca's Donkey. Oh, not Macca's Man of the Week. Macca's Donkey of the Week for your lack of presence at the St Kilda Rooms. Because your other podcast hosts managed to get themselves a chance in there, and you didn't. Am I allowed to say that? Do you want me to say that?
There might be consequences.
We've just attacked the soul of a St Kilda fan. I
Yeah.
brought up a 2010
Completely.
draw. You start shaming about getting in the rooms. I'm sorry, man. It's bad by me. Bad by us.
Yeah,
that
it is
might be
poor
Our
form.
sucks.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Bro,
I don't know how
what?
much we really have to kind of go over the top of you. I don't know, man.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared for Donkey of the Week. To be fair, not many donkeys this week, I think.
Aside from you.
Caleb Daniel's my donkey of the week, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dog shit.
The more touches he gets, the more turnovers he gets. Bro, just sorry. Carry on. I don't
All
wanna be
right.
too negative.
This is a part 2 of a segment we discussed 3 weeks ago, episode 17. And it was all about crowd numbers because Ross Lyon got pressed about it in his presser about the 20,500 at Marvel Stadium between Saints Dogs. We talked that within 3 weeks we'll talk about it because I was very big that interstate teams have a better Thursday night crowd than Victorian teams, unless obviously there's a big occasion, big rivalry, or like an Anzac Day game or any of that stuff. And through that, the 3 weeks we've had was Dockers Bombers in Optus, Power Blues at the Adelaide Oval, and then Roos Dogs is the only game on a Thursday night in Melbourne. Dockers Bombers got 37,570, which was 61%, which is sort of a bit lower than what we'd seen previously. Probably because it's not a big team in the Bombers, obviously. Even though they're a big Melbourne team, don't have a huge interstate crowd. Then Powers Blues got 30,000, which was 57% at Adelaide Oval. And then obviously there was a fair bit of talk with David King over the crowd at the Roos versus Dogs game, which got 25,009 people at Marvel Stadium for 44% capacity. It's very much just continuing my point of don't play games unless there's a rivalry, like a Collingwood Carlton, in Melbourne, or if it is an Anzac Eve, or if it is a Sir Doug Nicholls round Thursday night where you want it in Melbourne because it's a headline game and crowds will come regardless of if they've got stuff because there's a reason to. The Centenary game was a reason to, but even still no one came. Like,
Hey.
Shut up, man.
Nah, I hear you.
it's you want ticket sales.
Play our Centenary game against Collingwood or something so the numbers are inflated.
Part of it is on North Melbourne for obviously not planning it well, but also having it so late in the season removed the idea of we can lock it in here against this opponent. Having it at Marvel on a Thursday night was partly due to the floating fixture.
Do you know what the Dogs did? Played theirs at the G against Carlton.
Yeah. And you know what we did? We played 150 against Essendon at the G.
Yeah.
You get at least 60 most weeks. Yeah, pretty much sounds like. Again, I'm not a huge fan of games on Thursday. Friday night's perfect because it's a weekend heading into it. It's what we want. But Thursday nights
Need to stay interstate. Yeah.
unless, as I said, unless it's a big game, because that's where you get like the 95% crowds or 80% minimum. Like unless you're having it in Melbourne and you're getting 80%, there's no point.
For like a massive footy nerd like us guys, I'm sure you boys watch as many games as you can.
Yeah, I try to.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
The way that it's a bit different because an NRL game goes for 2 hours, but there's no crossover with any games. That is my dream that they can create a fixture that there's no. I want to watch every second of every game. I don't want to have to be skipping between games.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, the Friday night, I wish I could have watched both games, even if it was bad. I just like watching footy.
Yeah.
Like I was playing darts at my mate's joint, and we had the Brisbane Port game on.
Yeah.
I didn't watch a lick of Hawthorn Saints. I would have loved to watch that. Like, I don't want crossover, bro. Sorry, that's some more nerdy shit. I want to watch every unless you're doing shit.
We
still
had
have it on.
we had 2 crossover
That's
games.
what I do.
We had 2. We had Friday and Saturday night this week.
Fuck?
Just play 3 games on a Sunday. It's not difficult.
Yeah,
I was very confused by that
rip
one.
The shit out of a young West Coast team. I want to watch that whole thing. I also want to watch Carlton butcher the ball and bro.
I want to laugh at Carlton. That's what I want to do. And if
yeah.
I have to laugh at Carlton while taking another game seriously, then there's a problem.
I don't mind the quarter of overlap, but like a full
Don't
game
mind,
is
but
horrible.
How beautiful would it be if there was none?
I
Ever.
know.
NRL, there is none ever.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's just Thursday 1, Friday 1. Unless you do a Friday afternoon, it's really hard to do it. That's all.
Yeah,
All right.
it would sort of have to be a Perth game, wouldn't it? Just to the timelines. Makes sense.
And so it's not starting at 9:20 as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's move on to your world-renowned segment.
Well, renowned.
What did I say before? I've said like media recognised or something like that. So
It
we didn't.
hasn't been. We've got a
Mad.
few things to talk about this week on Behmy's TT. First one, Ed Richards
Oh.
on LDU.
Why'd you bring
Got
this
cleared
one
for
up?
this. Fair enough. Had the ball. LDU was going into tackle. Unfortunate high contact. Sort of goes to push him off a little bit, but doesn't quite get there because LDU is so close.
I'd say revoke his player license.
Game's gone if you're getting suspended for that.
Yeah, like the actual head high contact is LDU's head hitting that. This
It's
far.
unfortunate, but
Very unfortunate.
Shit happens. High
It's
speed
not
athletes,
Richards' fault. He didn't
No.
there was he provided a duty of care to himself and sort of LDU put his head down to try brace. Unfortunate that situation.
I'm with you.
Harley Reid got whacked by Tom Greene in a really weird incident. That doesn't look like there was anything, but Tom Greene did get a fine for this. So take that for what you will.
The guts in it.
Pretty much. Like, Harley Reid dished it. He got it back as well. So, you know.
I feel like Harley
and they were
would
both
wanted-
cool afterwards. After
Yeah, I
the
feel
game
like
anyways.
Harley would be annoyed that he got fined for that.
Harley Reid's had a fair few fines, so he'd probably be happy that someone else is
but he
paying
also loves a
stuff.
bit of the-
There was
Argy-bargy.
one with Toby Greene or Tom Greene next. I can't remember which
Toby
one's which.
fucking.
Was it
throat-
Toby when he was? Yeah. I was thinking
I
the same
saw
thing.
that. Can you
He's-
believe he wasn't fined?
That's just good-
considering it's
good clean
Toby,
football.
Yes, but I like it. He
Elbow
fucking,
to that is fine, free kick against. But then whacking this bloke in the throat afterwards, that's a fine every
Fuck
day
yeah,
of the week.
Toby. Harley Reid. I like Harley Reid, by the way, but he unnecessarily threw Angwin over the boundary about 30 seconds before that, and Toby goes, "Fuck you, bruh. I'll give you some shit."
Yeah, well,
Toby ain't scared of nothing.
he
Fucking
literally
fingers.
whacks him in the fucking throat.
It's
Yeah.
what
and
you
gets
should
nothing
do.
for it.
It's standing up as a captain. It's
Hey.
leading by example.
Hey, Harley,
leading the
you
troops.
Fuck with a young John.
Nah.
And Toby's gonna fuck with you.
Nah, I'm sorry. You need to get at least a fine for that, if not a suspension. The one up here is fine, but to then go like that on a player who's already on the floor is insane. And this
And then
bloke,
throw it at his
he's
nuts.
he's a Wesley nutcase as well. Like, Toby Greene is a not great bloke.
Legend. I
Yeah, and-
fucking love you, Toby. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
listen,
I like Harley as well.
honestly,
I like Harley.
yeah, we love Harley, but just suck it up, mate.
I prefer Harley over Toby. This one was also very weird. He got a $10,000 fine, I believe, for this one.
Really?
I believe so.
He didn't get
Let
suspended?
me double check, but he was
At
not
least he didn't use
suspended
his
for
fists.
this.
Good on you, Noah.
To be fair, what would a suspension do?
Well,
He'd
this
get a
is the thing.
2-game suspension. He's suspended for 2 games anyways.
Exactly.
That was weird. That was a weird. This is a weird collision.
Noah Balta
He
on
goes
Tom
in,
Stewart.
like, he doesn't even go in towards the ball. He
Yeah.
goes towards him pretty much.
Yeah, well, this is my thing.
He goes past the ball.
Tommy Stewart wakes up to hit hard.
It was-
He fucking, that is piss for him.
It was graded as careless conduct, low impact, and high contact. I think this is a suspendable offence.
I thought so.
You look at the
when I
action.
saw that, I'm like, that's so reckless.
You look at the action. If Tom Stewart gets hit in the head, he's gone past the ball. He hasn't made a play on the ball. He hasn't provided a duty of care when he's making a bump on Tom Stewart. I think in terms of action, that is a suspendable offence.
It's a bit what the fuck are you doing, but that is so soft.
It's
Tom
There
Stewart
was
is
very
a
little
fucking
contact.
brick. I played at South Barwon, which is the club he was from.
Yeah.
Never played with him. He was playing seniors and shit. I was playing
Yeah.
18s. I trained with the seniors.
Yeah, good
We were doing fucking keepings off, you know,
Yeah.
in the square.
Yep.
I handballed it. I saw Tom Stewart coming for me, and he only knows one gear. I'll tell you that. I went across the
Ripped
ground.
right through you.
Yeah, 17-year-old me. Woo!
Oh.
The hardest hit I've ever had in my life. It
he's
was
done it. He's done it to Dion Prestia.
a truck. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A truck went through my body, through my soul.
Jesus.
Grabbed it, threw it at the ground, put it back in me. And he's
That's a
got
Tom
it,
Stewart.
man.
Yeah. That sounds like Tom Stewart to a
I-
T.
Ripping bloke, strong as fuck.
I think this is suspendable.
Yeah, probably.
Realistically, that is not something you want in the game where he doesn't go for the ball, goes for the player, and almost fucks it up really bad.
I don't mind that, prioritizing punishing the weird act of like, what are you trying to do there, bro, as opposed to the damage you do on someone.
Yeah.
I like that. Paul Curtis. Sorry.
That one was a nightmare.
That was fucked.
Hugh
I hated
Jackson got a 3K fine, I believe, for kneeing Dane Zorko. Don't have the footage for this one. Really interesting one. I haven't seen the footage as well, so I got no idea what's actually happened, so I can't really give too much.
Just a bit of a
information.
news update.
It was on Zorko.
Yes.
Let it be, bro.
I'd give him a
Good
pay
point.
rise.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
point.
Exactly. Pay that man.
Deserves the AA spot instead of Zorko this year.
He can kick the piss out of the ball, Dane. Zorko.
yeah.
Fair
Oh,
play.
yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
And then the last one we're going to talk about is umpire contact with all the news that's happened with that. Brad Scott to be very hard on it.
Who?
Brad Scott.
Chris
as the
Scott's,
coach. Yeah.
Chris Scott's
Chris
brother.
Scott's brother. That's it. We made that mistake.
Former
earlier.
Brisbane player.
Former thug. Oh, you go quiet now. You go.
Only coached one team.
Yeah.
10 years don't exist.
Yeah. I don't know who he
Deleted
is.
from history.
And he was very much saying, because he obviously worked with the AFL for a fair bit after that stint, and he's been talking to them about umpires sitting in the corridor. Obviously, players want to kick it in the corridor, most dangerous spot to kick a goal from. He's been very strong on the fact that they need to get out of there. And then I don't know who he was mentioning, but it was someone at the AFL who basically said, act as if the umpires are invisible. which is where we got the Nate Gaddie running into the umpire on the weekend. Do we have the footage for this one? Just want to double check if we do or do not.
Nate the Great.
He literally was running full speed. Umpire goes to walk into the corridor to be able to see the game better and doesn't see Gaddie running in behind him. Bit of a fair bit of contest, and Gaddie was pretty sore for about a minute. And the umpire also was sticking his tongue out, which was really funny as he was running away from it.
Sucked in, mate.
Yeah, he was sucking in the big ones. It was really funny. And then the Matt Rowell stuff is obviously very talked about. Damien Hardwick was very strong on this in the media, acting as if Nick Dacos doesn't do what Matt Rowell does, because he doesn't. He doesn't use the umpire as a screen. And if you go back and look at the fines, which is, I do this every week, so I know what's happening. The fines have increased like 30% from round 8 to round 12, and about 50% from round 12 to 16 in terms of contact with the umpires. It's not an out of the blue thing.
You are a numbers guy, mate.
Yeah. This isn't an out of blue thing. We have seen the amount of players who use them as a screen and trip up the umpire increase significantly over the year. So it's not them changing the rules, it's them changing the punishment. And so across 2 years, it was 4 instances that would result in a suspension, or at least a tribunal hearing for it, where they do deliberating. And I'm of the belief that if you do 3, you get suspended.
Boy's cooking.
He's cooking.
He's cooking hard, this one.
This is the great. Yeah, we have the Nate Gaddie situation. Umpire goes into Gaddie's path. Yeah.
Don't
big
fucking
hit.
touch Nate the Great. I love the way Nate Gaddie goes about
he's
his
such
footy.
a good player.
He's going to be superstar.
Yeah.
He's going to get them the
Well, that's, I think we mentioned at the start, they've got a bunch of young players who are going to be part of that, future winning team.
Watch what you say. Get them all out. Him and Durham.
Yeah, send him to North, honestly.
Merritt, get him out. Get him out. He's too good.
He almost
Well,
did leave.
Chris Scott's brother
should leave.
Chris Scott's brother would do that.
Yeah, he probably would.
I don't know what he did in his previous 10 years, but
No.
I feel like that's what he'd do.
There's a couple of prelims. It's all a blur.
It's all a blur.
Sick colours, sick Guernsey bar.
All right, do we want
yeah,
to stick to this segment? Are we wanting to
Let's
do
do
this one? We want to
Let's
do
do
it. Beautiful. Let's get stuck into our pretenders versus
Some lovely
contenders.
photos, V-Blokes there.
Thank you very much.
Good boys.
Do you like my stature? Is that Div
Yeah,
12 with
he
Rezzy's
looks
esque?
quite cute. The beard's a bit shorter.
Yeah, that was when I was more cleaned up.
That's like a Tinder profile.
Not in the back.
you know?
Is
It's
it?
like- yeah, I think it's like nice guy. He's like,
I like this one.
yeah, that is a good photo.
I really like that one.
Boys, fuck the beards off. You look stunning with.
I know it's been.
Look at this. You
I'm
look
looking a bit
horror.
messy at the moment. That is true.
I'm joking, but you just look very sharp.
Yeah.
But I also like
I
the
appreciate
scruffy
that,
boys.
Cooko. I appreciate
The
that, mate.
scruffy guys.
You make me feel good about myself.
Good.
We need to bring him in
That's
next
what I
week,
aim
mate.
to do. I want people
We
to feel
need to
good
bring
about
him.
themselves.
He has hyped us up so much. I feel so good about
Bro,
myself.
you gotta make
You're a
yourself feel
fantastic
good.
bloke,
Great
mate.
addition.
Why
to the
wouldn't we want
podcast.
to feel good, you know?
100%. 100%.
Pretenders versus contenders now. And Matt, you are such a contender. It's unreal.
thought you
I
were
love
gonna
your
call me
work.
contender.
No. You're a contender, mate.
Contending for what is the real question?
I'm
though?
contending for third co-host of the Zero Access Footy podcast.
yes, I
Can you
made
believe
it,
mate?
finally.
Can you this is the pinnacle of your career.
Will my mum say she's finally fucking proud of me? Probably not. It's okay. It's okay. I'll keep
Hey,
striving for it. You gotta have goals in
Who
life.
needs a mum when you've got the Zero Access
Once
Footy
you've
podcast?
achieved the goal, what else is there to do? I need
It's
to have
not
something.
much. You can tell yourself you made it, mate. Well done. You're
Exactly,
my contender.
exactly.
But we'll go to the footy teams now. Who are your pretenders and who are your contenders? We'll start with number one. Collingwood, it should be unanimous contender.
Contender.
What about yourself? What are you feeling?
Yeah, Collingwood definitely.
Yeah.
Contender.
I'm not at the rage bait state yet.
They're not my.
Yeah, we'll get there.
They're not my favorite. Do you boys both have them as your favorite to win the flag right
No.
now?
I don't.
Neither.
I don't know if I have a. Honestly, for me, it's a tie. between
Mine's a bit
the two.
quiet. I'm on the Giants. I think they storm home, make top 4. Yeah.
I-
It's a lot of variables, but I think
think-
their best footy is fucking good enough.
Yeah. I think it
But they
could
have
be.
to storm and sneak into top 4.
At the same time, I think they are just as likely to fall
Stop
out of the
changing the
eight as
photos.
they are to make the
Yeah,
top 4.
agree.
Look what he's doing. He's got too much time on his hands. He's changing the photo. Why have you picked this photo?
This is from like week
Bro doesn't
3 or
take a
something.
bad. I was just about to say, bro doesn't take a bad photo, and bruh, it's a bad photo. That's a bad photo.
To his
It's
credit,
another bad. He's
That's a
50%
really
bad,
bad
good photos now.
to his credit, this is screenshots from
This is-
a.
Stitched up.
Yeah. That
Fucking
is it.
idiots. I love it.
We gotta we gotta ignore what's going on here. We know Collingwood contenders. We move to number 2, which would be why am I
Brisbane.
forgetting Brisbane?
Complete contenders. They are my number one contenders at the moment.
They're
Favourites.
They're your favourites. All right, fair enough. Yeah.
the way they won the flag last year is what I'm sort of expecting the Giants to do this year.
Okay.
Brizzy have that front runner energy, which sounds like a bad thing initially, but they have so many guys that like sit on the edge. Bailey, Rayner.
Yeah.
Archie's probably a bit more of a consistent effort.
But you saw what he did in the grand final, right?
Yeah,
that
no,
stuff
that's what
is
I'm
what
saying.
makes him so valuable to the team and
no.
can make them contenders.
100%. That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
But they can go missing, a lot of those guys. Like, that's that.
You
front
just
runner
hope that when
energy-
things get...
I think Brisbane and the Giants, their highest level is the two highest levels in the comp.
I
Okay.
think Brisbane's best is the best.
Yes, agreed.
Easily. Like,
Agreed.
I
I
don't
think the
even think it
Giants
could be
is-
close.
I
Dude,
think the Giants are close.
I
think-
watched
I think
Collingwood.
the Giants are close.
I still think maybe I'm leaning more towards Collingwood being the number one contender because my second contender, I'll spoil it, sorry guys, Geelong. For me, is Geelong.
Geelong's
they
always a
play
pretty-
such a professional,
Yeah, agree,
and
yeah.
Collingwood's best is so. I can't remember who it was against. I think it was against Hawthorn. It was a perfect game. If
Yeah,
they
the
played like that
Collingwood
every
Hawthorn game,
week, it would be Essendon 2000s-esque, where they're just winning every game and it takes something completely revolutionary to beat them. Right?
Of the top six, I'd probably say, maybe even top seven. I would say Geelong's ceiling is probably the lowest. But I'm with you. They hit levels, professional output. Like,
I think that stuff is what you look for, right? Obviously, you'll have your risers, right? And there is a riser in there. For you, it's GWS. There's so many teams that could pick them off if they're not careful. But just Collingwood just feels so professional to me. Brisbane, I'll give contender, but I just don't think they're number one contender.
hey, were you saying Collingwood or Geelong?
Collingwood's contender. Collingwood's number one.
You said Geelong.
I was talking about Brisbane, and I just talked about Geelong.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sorry, a bit confusing there.
Sorry,
but, yeah. For me, Geelong is number two.
Yep. Okay.
That's what I'm kind of trying to point out.
Yeah.
Because you guys are really high on Brisbane. That's why I was saying it.
I don't think Geelong are pretenders, but at the same time, I don't think that they are at the outright contender stage as well. I think they are a team who, against an opponent they can be favourable against, they'll win, no doubt. And it could be comfortable as well. But I think, as we saw last year, and what we've seen so far through the first part of this year, their defence, which has been one of their biggest strengths, has been quite loose. And we've seen teams be able to get on top of them, which we haven't seen a lot from Geelong, especially under Chris Scott recently, even with the talent that's back there. They're quite young behind the ball. You look at Henry, you look at Sullivan, you look at DeConing, very inexperienced with that. Even though Sullivan plays like a 200 gamer,
There's two Premiership players there, and
there is
Sullivan.
still got Stewart behind the ball, but I think that, especially in the midfield as well, Holmes and Smith, if you tag one of them, they're still very gettable in the midfield.
The other is...
Who would you put time into?
I'm putting
more.
time into Holmes.
You're probably more damaging.
Yeah.
Because Smith
Fuck, that's
is
sexy
known...
though. Sorry.
Yes. Smith is notably a poorer kick than
Poorer
Holmes.
kick, he's not as... He can be just as good, but I think Holmes is a more damaging player. Even though Bailey Smith gets on the scoreboard more, Holmes is running everywhere around the ground. He's so quick as well.
Probably
And if
easy
you
to tag as well.
I think he's harder to tag.
You think Holmes
but
is harder to tag than
He
Smith?
hasn't experienced it as much, and I also think that with his speed, it's harder to go and tag
Yeah,
him.
but I think Bailey Smith is a fucking contested animal.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
he's
100%.
hard. They can't really. I reckon he's in that like Paddy Cripps scope. Like, you can't really.
He
Not
has
that-
a
not that.
knack
You know what I
of
mean.
getting
It's
really
easier to
involved.
stop someone contested wise than it is to stop
Not
them
when
on
they're
the
an
spread.
animal like Baz Smith. I feel like the outsider guys are easier to tag historically for me.
Not as
Look at
much.
Connor Rose. He runs away from the
Yeah,
tag. Zach
he's
Butters,
now
I don't
been
fucking tag. I don't know tagging.
Zach Butters is an outside player who can play on the
Oh,
inside
he
and get
wins
the
his
ball.
own ball though. Like,
But he's much better on the outside. And if you stop his outside game, that's when you stop Zach Butters. Because he can do what he does on the inside. But if you stop his run and if you stop his great kicking, then you stop what Zach Butters brings to the game.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like Luke Davies-Uniacke a lot.
Nice
No, it's
7-year
good.
deal.
It's good.
Sorry,
No, it's good.
thought I'd bring
No,
something
this
to the
is
table.
what we want.
Yeah, you like a bit
You
of debate.
don't just want yes men on your podcast.
No, well, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll fucking punch him after this. No, that's what
Square up, mate.
it is. No, you've got to have different
That's
opinions.
good.
Like,
No, yeah,
Yeah,
I like it
100%.
though.
I
It's a good discussion.
like to hear, like, you want to hear understanding.
That's
of
why
the
I want
other
to bring
side.
up, I think Adelaide Crows are a pretender.
Agreed.
Well, not the point of that. I thought you were going to come at me with that one. All
Yes,
right,
man.
fair enough.
It got awkward.
Dude, you're so right. But I think Adelaide,
Straight sets contender.
It's just they're very much a team that could have a bit of like you've got the likes of Tex who are fantastic and could bring and could step it up, but I think there's a lot of players in there who are still not ready to take on the big time.
Pretender's such a heavy word, isn't it?
It is.
Because
but that's the point of this stuff.
Yeah,
it's
and
to make it cool.
I agree. I can't see them winning the flag, but it doesn't. Like I feel like they've had such a fucking good year, and even if they
have
finish top 4 and go out in straight sets, like obviously depending how it happened.
But you've got to look at teams in the past who are now with, like Brisbane's a contender now, but the amount of times that they came up short after having great seasons. I think Adelaide are going to be in that period, right? They're still trying to get used to, all right, this is our level of football now. We are a top 4 side. Now we've got to start working out, all right, what does finals footy look like? And I think this year you could almost excuse them for not going too far. Like if they make a prelim, I think that's a winning season.
Oh, 100%. But I think
they could be straight sets though.
Their best is their offense and their ability to score. But against the best teams, that's what fails them. So when your biggest strength has been neutralised, that's a really concerning thing.
Yep.
All right, Hawthorn. This one I'm really interested in.
Weird. So weird. I think they're a contender purely off what we have seen from them. Obviously, it hasn't been as juicy as it was the start of this year and the end of last year, but that's not that far removed that they get that arrogance, they get that cockiness back. I think they could. Brisbane,
they very much
Hawks,
feel like
Giants,
a riser.
they're all giving me that kind of vibe.
They feel like a riser, right? They feel like one of those
obviously,
who play up to the competition when the tough gets going.
I wouldn't put any money on that to happen, because it's been such a weird sort of spot for them lately. But we do know it's there.
Yeah. So about yourself?
I think if you get Mitch Lewis healthy,
you reckon?
I'm assuming Will Day comes back and he stays in the team for the rest of the year.
That's massive, isn't it?
But it's all about Mitch Lewis. Because
what would be your mix?
I would think it's all about Will Day.
No, I'm assuming Will Day comes back and can get back to his best. But this is the thing. You saw how good they were last year. If they add a talent of Mitch Lewis in, he's a different level. Because at the moment, they go.
My mix is Gunston, Chol, Deer. Lewis doesn't get a game for me.
I think that's too small. I think they need the height. You look at how they've been over the last few weeks when they've been better. They've had Ramsden, Chol, and Gunston. It's been taller. They've had the aerial support. I don't think you can get that with Josh Chol. We've seen him. We've seen it struggle. So I think you got Lewis, Chol, and then Gunston. I think that's their best mix. And the next year is when Deer comes in for Gunston. I think that mix.
I think what we saw from Deer last year, I'd be trying to get the best out of him again if they were to win a flag. For me.
It's just about if they have, if they can find the right spot.
It's been so long. You forget he fucking was good before he went down.
He's a 50-year gold player.
But can he just get back straight to that? You reckon?
I think he...
Is it 2?
They don't need him to perform 250 goals. They just need to be an option to start with and then play his way into it.
And I think Deer's probably not as... he looks down on confidence. When he's down on confidence, he's not really there.
He's not playing.
But when he's up on confidence, fuck, that boy could play. Remember the final against the Dogs last year?
Yeah. I still think they're a pretender, though.
Hawthorn. I think, again...
I just think they've shown too many signs of up and down play, and that may as well...
won a flag.
That could take him to... I was going to say, and that could take him to contender status, but I also think it could take him out in first round. Because right now, guess who they play? If they were to play right now, guess who they play? So that's a first round exit in your eyes.
Hey, Contenders, go the Giants. Orange team, baby.
We'll move on to the Dogs, however. These ones I think are contenders.
Wow, all right. I rate that.
Because look who they play. I think the ultimate pretender is coming up, but
I still don't know about the Bulldogs. I've been a huge hater of them.
I expected pretender from you.
I still don't know. Luke Beveridge has played in
so much.
Luke Beveridge has played in, I think it was 7 of 9 final series. He's only won finals in 2 of them, and he's made 2 grand finals in those 2 years.
Numbers guy. Numbers guy.
I don't know what to trust. I don't know what to trust.
I think the Dogs rely on individual brilliance too much.
100%.
Bont, best player in the comp. Sam Darcy's the biggest freak I've ever fucking seen. Ed Richards is ranked as one of the best players in the comp.
Yeah, he's up there right now.
Their midfield is fucked.
They rely on their best players, but their best players
they've got so many good players, though. That's the thing.
You're right. But it's
so difficult.
Who
do you think are the ones that are going to let him down, though?
No, I don't even know if it's letting it down. I just think team football wins flags. And not saying they're like a selfish team or anything, but I guess you look at the Hawthorn teams and the Geelong teams, it's full of superstars. It does happen. So I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But like,
but no, they do.
I don't know. They don't have that like.
We as of late have had a big thing on vibes, right? A
vibes.
vibe win and a vibe finals run. Like that's the stuff we live on.
I like that. Yeah.
Dogs can run off vibes. They give you that, but they give you that vibe as well of they could also fold really quickly.
I'm leaning closer to Pretender than I am Contender.
I lean Contender.
But fuck, when you have Marcus Bontempelli and
It's
relying
hard
on individual
to go
brilliance
against
when it's
him.
him and
so
Darcy,
difficult.
I'm like, that's some pretty fucking
When
brilliant.
basically
brilliance.
the entire competition inside the AFL say Bont is the best player in the league, it's hard to take away from that.
He's special.
I think
watching him
with
play football.
it feels like
really-
it's their year to do it again.
It's
for
really
me.
fun
or at
watching
least make
Bont,
the grand
yeah,
final
isn't it?
again. It feels like for me they have a
Darcy.
chance.
Darcy and Bont.
It's just you can't believe it.
And then Eddie and Liv.
Oh, man.
Damn.
But we'll move to Gold Coast because
Pretenders.
for me, Pretenders 100%.
Just because they're youth. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing. I think they could win
So
a final.
sketchy at times too.
I think they could win a final, but I just don't see them winning a flag. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're one of the youngest teams, probably one of the youngest in the
Realistically,
finals as
they're
well.
in a similar situation as Adelaide.
Yeah.
They're in a very similar situation. Both teams who are jumping into finals this year, if we're to go off of what we see and off of what we predict as well, because they're in a very good situation. Like they've got the game in hand against Essendon, and they've still got a pretty favourable run home. It's just, are they going to make a misstep somewhere? They play Collingwood next, so that could really define their season.
Is that at Metricon?
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah.
They like the Pies up there.
Yeah, so we'll see how that. If they win that, I think they're a lock for finals. But I don't trust them. I do not trust them. I'm just waiting for a way that they mess this up.
Don't say that. I think they're.
They just need to play finals, man.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
They
I don't
need to
think-
play finals.
I think that it doesn't even matter what happens in finals. That club just needs to cross that line. Like
100%.
If they don't make it now,
seriously,
my God.
sign Dimmer for millions more. Like that is fucking big, so big.
Yeah.
If they don't make finals, they could be the most talented team ever not to. But
They
Pretenders, we all agree.
Pretenders for sure. Yeah.
They are Pretenders.
I'd
They won't
fucking-
win the flag.
No.
No
I
way.
would fucking love it if they did though. Imagine
Oh
they just
my
got on a
God.
heater. They like. It's
Oh.
we're all it's probably too young. They are talented enough to do it. They won't.
I
but-
was on them at the start of the year as well. I had them and Adelaide making finals. So
You also had
Hey.
Sydney at first.
shut up. I also had Port in my top 4. So we don't care.
Do you want to hear something that softens Sydney at first?
Yeah, you said, yep, I know.
I had Carlton at first.
Oh, no.
Zero negative ball knowledge. I
Man
have
has
negative ball knowledge.
No ball knowledge.
Why am I on a footy podcast?
It's all right. We all have those. I also said Eric Hipwood was going to be third in the column.
Yeah, he did.
It's pretty nearly as bad. He had that one good half against the doggies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
but
did.
when you're predicting podium finish on the Coleman,
Yeah, no.
I don't think you can do that with one good half
No.
against
Man.
one team.
Giants next.
I'm sorry, I got to go Pretenders.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Don't be sorry, man. Stand on business.
Yeah.
Look me in my eye.
Fuck you, Cooko.
Oh, okay. No, I love that. I love that. No, it's
No,
good. We love healthy debate.
No, I was going to say, I just think they are so inconsistent that sure they could have a fantastic final series, and I could be here sitting here being wrong, but they're just the lack of trust with these guys. The contenders that I have trust in them. I think I've seen it from them before. That's why I trust the Dogs, because I've seen them do it with a version of this team before. Obviously Collingwood, obviously Brisbane, obviously Geelong, recent Premiership winners. But for me, GWS, sure they made a grand final in 2019, but I just don't see them bringing that type of consistency that they did back then, especially this year.
I got big contenders. The vibe they're giving me is literally what they've had, like the same path as Brisbane. Brisbane consistently finishing top 4 and sort of failing in finals a bit. And then the year that they don't have as good a home and away season, they hit form back end of the year.
Yep.
Giants are going to slide
You think
into
they're
that
going to
top
do
4.
something like that?
And they hit the form, like it's last year they were up in both of their finals.
Yep.
And ended up losing in straight sets. Like, I don't know. I think they're primed for it. Like that's why I reckon their home and away season's been a bit shaky, because it's like we just need to get there. We need to get there, and then that's the shit.
They could.
That's my view.
They could, but I also try to mediate it out with the fact that what Brisbane did was very once in a decade type deal.
Yeah.
So it's a very tough thing to do.
You're speaking logic. I'm speaking
Vibes. We love a vibe here. And I'll mention Freo because they do also have the same amount of points, but we've been very low on them, I think, in this podcast.
Still don't understand how David King sees them as flag favourites. Like, what?
He does?
I don't know flag favourite, but he has them as contenders.
I
don't
have
know
him as
how.
big pretenders. Especially now when I think
yeah.
they're the most primed to be the 9th position.
Can I just mention something that's really quite sad, and it's actually disturbing me a bit?
Oh.
A young man named Jai Amis came into the league so promising, really
He does
impressive
look
as a
very
young key
lost.
forward. He just gets worse every week.
He does look very lost.
Very, very bad.
I wonder why. Maybe it's because their
Confidence
coach
is
wants to
gone.
win 70 to 60. I think that might be why.
Put the man in the worst situation possible.
No, like, it doesn't help. But Jai, everything goes wrong for him at the moment. It's really. He took a great mark to start the game on the weekend. I was like, he's back. Come on.
He's back.
He kicked it out in the full by about 15 metres.
Oh, no.
And he was known for his goal kicking too.
Nev, they were calling him Nev. Now they call him Always. Fuck.
Oh, God.
Always I missed.
Yeah.
It's really sad because I like him and he was so promising. I love
Yeah.
when young key foot like what
Yeah,
Logan
no,
Morris
I
is doing,
do
come
like
in and
that.
grab
He
it.
kicked 40 goals in his first year.
Yeah.
And then Tracy took over the second half of last year and he hasn't been seen since.
Yeah.
Really frustrating for them, I'm sure.
Hopefully, I think he's due for a stint in the twos. Like, there's at a point where it's like, if you drop them, it's going to lower their confidence more. He's beyond that. He needs to find form.
He needs to
Get
just,
some
he
belief
needs
in
to get
being
some,
able to play
needs to
football
get some
again.
kicks through the big sticks, is what we're saying.
He looks like everything he does is like, oh, I'm going to fuck
Timid.
this up. Yeah.
It's timid.
And hopefully, he's still very young.
But I think we're all in agreement. Pretenders.
pretending as fuck. I think they'll find a way to not make the 8, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're
They
most-
needed to beat Sydney
they're
on
a
the
ninth.
weekend.
Yeah, they're a ninth.
That was such an
They're a
important
ninth
game for
team
them.
right now because
Yeah.
in Sydney very much pretend. Everything else obviously is pretenders, but Fremantle is very much the line right now.
Yeah.
Finally, we'll finish off. I'll try and make it quick because we are just about at our time.
Sorry, boys. Yeah.
No, it's
No,
all
it's
right.
all good.
We're
I've had a great time,
I'm
by the
more
way.
than happy
It's
to.
been his fault more than you.
Yeah, fuck you, man.
Yeah, we got a beef
My
going
God,
now.
thank you.
Yeah.
No, this is fun.
This entire podcast has been both complimenting each other and just going at each other's necks. I
Yeah.
feel like,
been
but that's
vibes.
how we love
It's
it.
been vibes,
That's
boys.
it's been
Enjoy it.
vibes. Yes, that is the
Been
perfect
vibes.
way to
Enjoy
say it.
it.
I love that. That's a great way
Fuck
of putting
yeah.
it. Yeah, we'll swing through this. We've got Blues versus Lions. Give me a prediction and a margin.
Lions by 39.
Lions by however many they want. Whatever position they shall choose.
Write the scoreline here. Whatever it
This-
is, we'll make it happen.
I would not want to be a Blues fan at this game, and I'm going to this game with a Blues fan. So
Yeah.
Enjoy it, sir.
Yeah, I'm going Lions by just 60. Just for the sake of it. And then watch the Blues somehow win this one. Friday night at People First Stadium, Suns versus Pies. You said that the Suns love a pie at the game here.
Yeah, I think.
Did you like my little
no.
No, that was shit. You were good before, bro. But, hey, we've got to keep it honest.
honesty?
Honesty. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so
Best
backing
policy.
you. I'm backing you.
Thanks,
you know?
guys.
Yeah, I think the Pies are due for a loss, a bit of a slip-up game, and
Could happen.
Suns will bounce on this.
Definitely the time to happen. Don't look at me.
What?
It's an inside joke. He loves,
Naughty gentleman.
He's a bit of a. No,
I'm not even going to try because I don't want to get used or me in trouble.
Oh, mate. Oh,
Carry
God.
on.
Suns versus Pies. I'm going to go, I think Suns take this one. I think it's going to be a Suns
Wow.
Join us.
10-point win.
I am.
Yeah!
We're all idiots.
Yeah!
I thought I was going to be the outlier in this one.
No, vibes, bro.
Wow. I've been on the Pies hatred for like 8 weeks straight, I think.
Yeah, you have. You're like, they're due
They're-
to a
they're
bad
due
game.
for it.
Yeah.
But
You said that, for a good month or two.
15. Suns by 15. Ben
Fair.
King kicks 6.
I like that.
That's a big
Bold.
goal.
Sorry,
Old
what was
goal.
that? Put the same game. I actually like that. That's
Yeah, I mean,
fun for
you
you.
earn you some money if you were to put that one on.
Mhm.
Fair enough. Dogs versus Crows at Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going Dogs contender and Crows pretender, I'm going to say Dogs take this one.
Yes, that is notoriously how football works.
I would say so.
Um,
Dogs, I'm going to think are going to take it by 25.
Fuck, I have no idea. At Marvel, maybe. I'm going to go the Crows. No. Oh, yeah, I'll go the Crows. Fuck it.
Some really
Fuck it.
interesting games. I think this could take the tip in terms of both teams that could very easily fall out like the top 4, but should be in the top 4 based off of talent.
Yeah.
Very important.
Dogs
game, yeah.
midfield could get on top, but at the same time, like the Crows forward line,
That's
in
so
great
tough to
form at the
play
moment.
against, Yeah.
And
Just
this-
quickly, I think the biggest improvement for the Crows this year is how good their backline stood up.
Josh Worrell.
Yeah,
I
you've always
said
been
this
big.
bloke was all-Australian contender at
Yep,
the start of the year.
Super good. Oh, I think Wayne Miller has been.
Yep.
He's had some
underrated.
great
He's
games,
a
yeah.
great ball
Mitch
user.
Hinge, Max McLean is starting to play in the midfield as the tagging
good.
role.
It's just
I
at the
know he's
start of the
been-
year, I know Mitch Hinge had a few rough ones, but like, yeah, they've started to step up a bit
I
more.
like what Hinge is. But it's a very strong back six. Laird can't get a gig in it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Mark Keane.
Keane has been unreal. And
He's a bit of a flop, though. He
He's been-
loves a flop.
He's
He
been
loves a
injured, but
flop.
Nick Murray's a proper defender as well.
Yeah.
I think like Butts slides out of the team. I think in their best back six.
I
If
agree.
Murray gets healthy. So
I could say that.
yeah.
And have you said your...
Go Dogs by 11, but not confident in that.
Fair enough. Giants versus Cats at Engie Stadium.
Flip of the coin, I think.
Yeah, it does feel like it. I think the Cats coming off of a game like that against Richmond could have them with their guard down.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when teams play those weaker sides, they come in a bit too confident. They're almost not used to playing that high level footy. So I think the Giants take this one, even though they are notoriously not great at Engie.
More important game for the Giants would have me feeling the Cats probably, hey, we might win, we might not, but they're not going to go above and beyond to win this game, I don't think. And I think that it means a lot to the Giants.
We'll have to
Vibes are
find
coming
out.
for the Giants.
The vibes are high with the Giants.
I honestly couldn't pick a winner in this.
Yeah,
I struggle to see it because Hogan could be back, but I don't know if he will. Taylor's still out. At the same time, Bailey Smith might not return. Like, I genuinely don't know in this game.
I'm going Giants.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Sam Taylor's, that is, I forgot. I always forget about that. They've won 2 in a row without him, though.
Yeah. They've looked pretty decent doing it, too.
He's-
To be fair, they just came up against West Coast now that I think about it, so they're both coming off of pretty easy wins.
Yeah.
What
So-
was Sam Taylor going to do in that game anyway? Sam Taylor's so fucking good.
Sam
Holy
Tyler
shit.
would like he's good, but he'd stat pad that game. Absolutely.
I'll go Cats winning.
Fair. Can't
Professional
really be
outfit.
mad at any choice unless it's a big margin. Do you have it a big margin, or do you think it's close?
Close.
Fair.
Giants by like 4 goals, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. That is completely fair. We go Tigers v Bombers. Saturday night at the G. What are we thinking?
Tiger time,
He's
baby.
thinking Tigers. He's thinking
Oh.
4th win of the season.
Yeah, but
Oh,
They don't have anyone to win this game.
that's the
don't.
problem. They are relying on so many young blokes in this one.
Ah.
And that is without Lawler as well. The young blokes without their best young blokes.
Tiger time.
He doesn't care. It's Tiger time. Yeah, fair. I'm gonna go Bombers. I want to go Tiger time.
You're not a real-
but I
a
do.
real North Melbourne fan,
My hope. I know. My hope is that Emilio hits the place and they all just.
Joe! Hey!
And hey, we may get a pick back.
Oh my God.
Hey, I'm thinking
I
big.
like
I'm
it.
thinking long term.
You got balls, kid. I like it.
Yeah, I'm thinking Bombers. You know what? Draw. I think it's a draw. Yeah, Tigers by 10 goals.
Boy.
I'm going Bombers. I just don't think the Tigers can win this
Yeah,
at all.
shut up, Sam.
What does that have to do with anything?
Just not on the
I
train.
quite like the Saints.
Not on the
to be
train.
honest.
Yeah, but he's not on the train with us.
Yeah.
He's not on the Tiger time train.
train.
Not on the Tiger.
The Tiger trainer.
That was coined as the Teague train. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, well.
We'll go Dockers versus Hawks at Optus Stadium. One to keep their season alive for sure.
So the Dockers will fuck it.
Yeah, they are. They do a bit of that, don't they?
The bigger the game, the bigger the fall for the purple team.
Ooh, I want to give a bit of hope to the Dockers. Though.
They really should win, but
I think this is one they should win. But yeah, they're very, very prone to a loss here.
they love losing big games, the Dockers.
I'm going to say Dockers win this by 3 points.
Thriller.
And they almost try and lose it. The Hawks have a shot after the sign or something like that.
I'm tipping the Hawks. Like, genuinely, the Dockers have something wrong with them.
Yeah, can't blame that pick.
They should be better.
Yeah. What about you?
I watched the Hawks on the weekend. I don't think they're that good.
Valid.
I don't think they're in the best form as what many people think. And Dockers
Hawks
aren't
are playing
good either.
twice. What the fuck? D's v Hawks. Dockers v Hawks. Sorry.
For God's sake, producer.
Sorry, guys.
A week in the twos for the producer. No, that's not your fault, mate.
No, it is.
It's not your fault.
You don't have to
Let me
bring
get up the
attention.
Yeah,
fixtures
who
so I
is
can
it?
see
Who's
meant
the
to be
player? All right, who's playing who? All right.
Matches.
Well
fixture.
done, producer.
It's
There
a
it
Kangas.
is.
You're hiding a room.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
No, hide him again. I felt good about that.
Yeah, no, that's true. D's versus North, Sunday at the MCG. I want to go. Yeah, I'm saying North. I don't care. I'm saying North. North take this one. And they're going to go by 60 this time.
Again.
North by 6. They do one better.
I think if we... Oh, I don't think 60. I think if we come correct... I think it's going to be a close game.
I think it's close. Legitimately, I think it's close. I think my legit guess would be a close one.
Optimist. Yeah, all that optimism shit. I like that. Yeah.
And Brad Scott ends up... I mean, the man who should not be named, he ends up watching the game and crying at the end of it.
Get a hand on your producer, man.
What the hell is this? Hey! Hey!
Even I disagree. I need North to win this game.
I think this is a close game regardless.
I need that pick 3.
If North don't come correct, I could see the D's jumping us.
Yeah, I know. And I'm very
Because they'll
worried.
have, as we've seen in the last couple of months, the D's will have a crack. It won't be pretty, but they'll butter up.
I'm so worried. It's just, I've said it, it's just a win's a win. North need to win every game they can possibly get. They need to. There's no reason they shouldn't this year.
What's our injuries looking like as well? Like,
so I think we get Wardlaw back because he was concussion,
Really?
right?
So we'll get him for
We don't have
10 minutes
LDU,
or
though.
something.
I know.
He'll tear his hammy off the bone.
Please don't. Don't even put that into the world,
Fuck
mate.
you, man.
Yeah, what's this? That ain't
If
numbers
that
that you've been saying.
If that happens,
we know who to go to.
Hey, I'm not going
I'm
to be
bashing him next week.
Voodoo magic.
threats on a podcast.
I'm bashing him next week. I'll threaten on the podcast. I don't care. But yeah, I'm going North by, legitimately, by 10 points.
I'm suing you.
That's awesome. Didn't ask, but
Bruh.
I know good lawyers.
you know, good liars.
Lawyers.
Yeah. Who do you think wins this one?
North. I need them to win. I need pick 3. I
Look
need
at
pick
us.
3.
Back.
Yeah, I knew there was a reason we had you on this pod. You're outnumbered here, so you better stay in line, mate.
Kangaroos. Kangaroos. Shit.
I feel like this is a special side of the table. We've got the numbers man over here. This man knows his numbers and stuff, man. I don't know what he's on. Saints versus Swans. Do you want to have a go?
Clipping that up immediately.
No, you're not. Saints versus Swans. Who do you think's winning that one?
Swans, please.
I think Swans too. It's at Marvel. To be fair, Saints would pull something off like this.
Yeah.
Did it last
You did
year
it
and they
against
were
Geelong.
good.
You did it against Geelong.
Yeah.
This has a Saints rock up and play scary footy. Like,
This has a Max. Max Hall 10 goals.
I was thinking
I'd
more
crit my
like
pants.
Jack Sinclair 30, McCready 30. You know,
Yeah,
that's the
just
vibe
something
I'm
like
getting.
that.
Proper Saints
vibes.
game.
Proper Saints vibes. for this one.
Machito kicked 3, Higgins kicked 5. You know, I'm feeling the Saints for this one.
Fair enough.
I don't like you anymore. I'll choke.
Doesn't go.
Fucking backing your boys, man.
Swans by yeah, but he wants a high pick.
need the
He wants a
high
high draft pick.
Oh,
He wants
no,
North
no.
spot.
Well, Gold Coast, Lucky kicked 9 or some shit. You remember that?
Yes.
It could have been McKercher and Reid.
Yeah, but
Because I was just about to say, like, I don't fuck with tanking, but
just that one game. I think Swans by 35.
Good.
keep him happy.
Port versus Eagles to finish it all off at Adelaide Oval. God,
I could see the Eagles doing it.
If they
I
do
thought
it-
Eagles had it last week. I don't think they've got it this week.
I've said that like 5 times and I've been wrong in both
Yeah.
of them.
So we'll say that the Eagles will flop this week and they'll have a fantastic game.
Yeah, and I'm
God,
tipping
it would be
Port so
funny
that
if
happens.
the only team the Eagles beat this season was the Saints. That'd be so funny.
I was so ready to jump on with you on the Eagles. But you're like pseudo picking them. Like, reserve. Okay,
I'm
that
double
doesn't work for
jinxing
me, so
them.
Eagles.
I'm double jinxing them.
Yeah, I like
basically.
it. I'm picking the Eagles.
Power by
No jinxes
31.
around here, bro.
We just have a way of picking both teams every time. I feel
Yeah.
like we don't ever commit to a win unless it's like so obvious, like the Geelong Richmond last week.
Yeah.
But that is where we're going to end it. I think
Yeah.
we have had our fun yapping this week. But I thank everyone for once again tuning in to Zero Access Footy, and I thank you, Mr. Cookson,
I had
for
so much
tuning in for participating in the podcast.
He's
would
a-
be
he's a good
the
fella, it's
correct
good fun.
way to say it. But yeah, I appreciate you.
Sorry,
You've
it
been
was
fantastic.
a little bit silly, but it was good.
That's what it should be.
We
That's
like
what it
silly,
should
don't we?
be.
Fun, make each other feel good.
Exactly.
Laughter is the best medicine. We don't need medicine, but we need laughter. Let's pretend that made sense. Go on.
Master
Thank you.
Uruguay.
Thank you. That's such a nice reference. I like it.
Where's the fucking door? Get
Thank you so much for tuning in once again to episode 20 of Zero Access Footy, and I'll see you all in the next one.